that sound? Pure comfort for millions. Pokemon is a global phenomenon, but for many of us on the autism spectrum, the connection goes way deeper than nostalgia. It's about structure, fixation, and obsession. It drowns out the never-ending noise of life. Maybe you don't relate to being autistic, but you clicked this because you noticed your senses seemed to process a little differently. 2 a.m., everyone else asleep. You under the covers. That blue glow illuminating your face as you grind your Charmeleon just one more level. The volume is as low as possible, but the theme tune is still playing in your head. For many of us, this was survival. Maybe both parents were there. Maybe they were working, sick, or divorced. Either way, most of the time you had a void to fill, with parents increasingly consumed by work and technology. But Pokemon made sense. Every single time. Water beats fire, electric beats water, ground beats electric. A world with rules you could understand, where your actions had predictable consequences. Unlike some places. What I didn't realize then, what I couldn't possibly understand, was that my brain was being drawn to Pokemon for a very specific reason. It wasn't just the cute monsters or the battles. It was the structure underneath it all. Type charts, evolutionary chains, base stats, catch-in methods, systems within systems within systems. Perfect for a brain that's constantly searching for patterns in a world that seems random. The most interesting part of all this for me, what drew you to Pokemon might be the very thing that's making your adult life so difficult now. When Pokemon Scarlet and Violet released, promising a 3D fully open world, I felt something unexpected. Not excitement, but dread. Where was I supposed to go first? What's the right order? Why isn't there a clear path? How am I supposed to know if I'm doing it correctly? It was toxic. The same way I freeze when someone needs to make small talk. What does that even mean? Where's the guide for that? I needed more information. Walkthroughs, YouTube videos, Reddit posts, and even then, was I really playing the game or just following someone else's path? This feeling wasn't new. It was the same paralysis I felt walking into a crowded room, starting a new job, trying to figure out the unwritten social rules everyone else seemed to know instinctively. Like trying to play a game where no one will tell you the controls. For years I struggled, expecting it to get better. I collected data and opinions like Pokemon cards. I yearned for walkthroughs. I built a small, loyal team of friends. Managing more felt mighty overwhelming. I ended up getting betrayed by my best friend. That's a story for another time. But something inside me snapped at that point. Suddenly, I knew exactly what had been holding me back. I started doubling down on myself and my decades-forged intuition, rather than being too receptive to outside voices. I created easy systems to follow that helped me demolish my to-do in a way that felt like playing Pokemon. Clear objectives, defined endpoints. The freedom was there, but with scaffolding my brain could understand. I was playing my way, with strategies that worked for my brain. And that's when I realized something profound. It was the match between how my brain works and how the games were designed. Work projects, relationships, life goals. The problem wasn't me. It was trying to navigate neurotypical expectations with a neurodivergent operating system. The beauty of Pokemon, the real magic that kept us coming back, was that for a few precious hours, the world followed rules that made sense to us. Think about it. A Pokemon battle has strict rules, yet endless possibilities. That paradox, structure enabling freedom, is exactly what our autistic brains crave. So, what changed? Did I suddenly outgrow my need for structure? No. I learned to create my own structure, in games and in life, breaking down overwhelming open worlds into manageable quests. Just like breaking down overwhelming workdays into specific tasks, learning when to follow the main story, and when to wander off and explore, trusting my own interests and instincts. They were life strategies, nurtured and evolved through understanding my own neurodivergence, and they worked. But this journey from structured games to open worlds, it mirrors something bigger. How do you maintain what makes you uniquely you, while adapting to a world not built for your brain? Because that's the ultimate challenge, isn't it? Not becoming the champion, but becoming yourself. Not catching them all, but finding your own path. That's what Pokemon taught me in the end. How to play life on my terms, with my brain. Unfortunately, the story does take a darker turn. Because the way I played Pokemon, it shaped how I formed friendships, built businesses, trusted people. That loyal 6 Pokemon team mentality. It led me to invest everything, in a friendship that would eventually betray me, cost me thousands, left me starting over at the spawn point. Next time, I'll show you how the loyalty Pokemon taught me nearly destroyed my life, and how those same games ultimately showed me the way out. If you relate to anything in this video, join the Discord. Because just like in the games, we're stronger together than alone. This is Pika Explains, and I'll see you in the tall grass.